Hello everyone. So I'm going to do this video because I probably think maybe it's long overdue. I've seen a lot of questions and everything. Oh, what's your take on Nnamdi Kanu? No, normally I've just stayed clear of that conversation because my take is already known on that whole issue right from the first time that Muhammadu Buhari, arrested Nnamdi Kanu. And I'm going to break it into, I'm not going to break it into parts anyway, but I'm going to talk about different things on this whole issue and put a rest to it. I might not refer to it again. Myself and Nnamdi Kanu, we really don't see eye to eye in a way, because some of the way he does his thing, it's not for me. But I believe that everybody's human right. Yeah, it's everybody's human right. I know myself and Kanu, we had some Twitter fight some time ago. I can't remember when it was. And of course, his followers came after me. There were a lot of death threats and stuff like that. But hey, what's life without somebody saying that they want to kill you? That means that you've really showed the person for them to want to kill you. But for me, so I would just try to just put all of this together. First of all, like I said, at the first time that former President Muhammadu Buhari had arrested him is the fact that nobody has the right to arrest anybody. Nnamdi Kanu has a right to demand that he wants himself and his people to secede from Nigeria. It's an absolute and genuine right. And I've always said the biggest, for me, one of the most annoying thing I find about the Nigerian constitution is that nonsense where they are talking about the indissoluble, indivisible. What do you mean by indivisible? You should be able to divide it if it doesn't work. The only thing that we should be the glue that should put Nigeria together should be good governance, accountability, and transparency where there is development. If anybody feels that, look, there is no development somewhere, they're not feeling it, then they have a right to decide they want to go or they don't want to go. So the fact that Nnamdi Kanu was making demands and say that, oh, IPOP, he wants a Biafra, he absolutely has a right to that. And nobody should arrest him. Even up till now, nobody has a right to arrest. Why are you keeping him? If you have a crime that he has done, really, yeah, go ahead, prosecute him, get him done, whatever it is. But not just to come and just, oh, because of one thing or the other. So I will start from there. When all of this thing started, my take has always been he has a right. Everybody has a right to demand they want to secede. And for me, as a Nigerian, I've said this over and over and over again that we need to have a Nigerian conversation. We need to sit down at the table. We cannot say that alone. We cannot be blaming Lord Lugard. I find it so annoying when I see people blaming Lord Lugard. Hello, that's 100 and what years ago? That's like 110 years ago that there was amalgamation of the southern and northern protectorate. And so right now, it's in our hand to decide what we want to decide, and we've refused to do that. And so if Nnamdi was the agitation they were making, and it's a valid agitation. We've seen again and again people coming out to say that, oh, an Igbo person cannot be president. Oh, an Igbo person cannot do this. Oh, our Igbos are this, Igbos are that. Yet, when Igbos say they want to leave, you don't allow them to leave. The civil war was caused simply by they were being killed, they were being harassed, they were all over the thing, their properties were being taken away, they were being burned, and they said, okay, no wahala, we want to move. It led to a civil war, not just a civil war, where starvation, food was used against people. For me, that's the biggest and the most heinous crime you can ever do, to starve people in the name of war. There is nothing that justifies you using food to starve people and say that you're fighting. No, you're not fighting. You're just a simple terrorist who is killing people. So for me, that's my stand on that. So on the issue of the continued incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, absolutely, that's something that the Nigerian government shouldn't be doing. Shouldn't incarcerate someone because they are fighting for what do you call it, to secede from the country. And I've always there needs to be a referendum. Even at that time when all of these things were going, I was okay, fine, do a referendum. You probably will go to the southeastern part of the country and do a referendum and find out that not everybody was with Kanu. And then if everybody is with Kanu, fine. Let them. Me, I'm ready to buy visa to anywhere. If Nigeria let it break into 36 countries. I'm ready to visit everybody with visa. I'll go and look for a visa at your embassy. If you don't give me, I'll find other places to go. And I always say this, there's no region in Nigeria that it's not a great region. So all of these things that we do, sometimes I just don't get it. Having said that, it's now also to come to the ways And I've spoken this, I've written this excessively. If you follow me on Twitter, if you follow the years when I wrote this on this issue, there was a leadership gap in the Southeast where, you know, most of those great, and it's not just the Southeast, it's basically, all over the country, sort of, where you had those, there were great leaders who have passed on or had become very old, and then there was a dearth of leadership where you really couldn't have, who were the ones that were actually taking control of things. And then boom, all of a sudden, I don't know for other people, but for me it was just boom, all of a sudden someone came out. It was Nnamdi Kanu, and he's had such huge influence. And you're thinking, wow. For me, the main thing that I saw was the fact that if you have such influence, why then are you not using it positively? Why then are you not using it in a way that brings development to your region, in a way that sets things for your region? And I said this, when this whole agitation started, and there was that massive influence that Nnamdi Kanu had. And in some of the tweets that I did, I said, look, imagine what it is for Southeast to have amazing governors. People with competence, character, capacity, people that can just like what you have with Alex Oti right now. Imagine Southeast having 5 of Alex Oti. And then, 5 of those kind, like in terms of like senators, how many will there be now? There are 5 states, 25 senators. How many House of Rep members? How many state houses of assembly members? Having people with competence, character, capacity, people that will work. Because Nnamdi Kanu had that power where he could raise somebody's hand and say, vote for this person, and the person will be voted for. I cannot imagine somebody having such power and you don't use it for the betterment of this thing. As in, they kept saying boycott election. I said, look, boycotting election does not serve anybody. We already boycott election anyway. Many people don't go for election. When you boycott it, even if it's the person's family that comes out to vote, right? They are going to go ahead with the voting. That's how it's going to be. So for you now to boycott, it does not make sense. What you need to do is bring in the candidates, or endorse the candidates that the best. Get them to, even the ones that don't want to run, you go and fish for them, go and look for them, get people to talk to them, sit down with them and say, look, we know you can do this work, we know you can, come out and do this. And I can tell you, even if those people didn't have any money to run and do election, the fact that Nnamdi Kanu will raise their hand, people will be ready to come out and put that money. That was so much power here. And I said, look, instead of you speaking from the outside, keep saying that, oh, we want this, we want Biafra, get 5 governors in, 25 House of 25 senators. I don't know, maybe more than, of course, definitely more than the House of Rep members, state houses of assembly members, local government and councillors. When they are all speaking, they will also be speaking for this Biafran this thing. Wouldn't that resonate more than you as a lone figure going around? But of course, Nnamdi Kanu decided he'll be working like this. People were kissing his feet, people were kissing his this thing, people were kneeling behind him. He was like a sage. He was not like a sage. I know some of you will insult me. Me and is it today? I said death threat. I think it was 2021? I be whatever. When I was even saying that he was like a made in China shaker. He was trying to do this thing, trying to whatever. If you not like me and insult me, I will tell you, this is, I know they put water for my talk anytime. I say things the way I see them and the way I feel them. And I'll tell you, yeah, as it is. Sometimes I don't have filter on issues when it comes to the truth. I will say it as it is. And so I felt those were the things that could have been done. Every time I think about the missed opportunity that Nnamdi Kanu had to be able to put that region, on, no region has been able to get someone like that it's that influential. No region has been able to have someone that is that influential that will be able to make that difference. And so everything is about, it's about strategy. Be strategic, keep going. But sometimes people romanticize violence. I remember when all of this whole issue of violence started, we're like, no, this thing is not right. The IPOB, whether it's Nnamdi Kanu, I don't know who started the armed version of IPOB, where they're going. Even when IPOB were being attacked by government, their members were being killed. A lot of people didn't even bother. People felt that they deserve it. I was talking about, I said, look, nobody has a right. There was a time that even IPOB mothers, women were arrested for how many days. Nobody have a right to arrest anybody because they are coming to agitate, that they want to secede or they want their own country. Nobody has a right to arrest anybody for peaceful demonstration and all of that. And then over time, even before the violence, they started the what do you call this thing? The stay at home. I think it was after Nnamdi Kanu was arrested or so they started the stay at home. There was one stay at home that was staged. I think it was it 2018? I'm not sure now what it is. But Buhari had gone to commission a project in a particular state in the southeastern part of the country, and people didn't come. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. That's a way of sending a message. Stay at home, stay at home is also a form of protest. But in any protest or in anything, you don't abuse it. You don't abuse the whole system. To the extent they now arrested, you now started with, oh, people must not come out every Monday. Are you okay? They are first of all killing you. They are first of all doing everything against you. And then you want to kill the economy of your own region. Whoever it is, whether he was the one, whether he didn't have control anymore, you see that Simon Ekpa, whatever it is that he calls himself. I don't blame him, that one. I blame Nigeria. First of all, I blame Nigeria and its foreign policies and whatever, and I also blame Finland and its foreign policies, because I don't see how that guy is still enjoying in Nigeria, in Finland, and then he's causing so much mayhem in Nigeria. I've seen now that a lot of people no longer romanticize when that whole thing was started in terms of the attacks and everything. Initially, some people were happy. Oh yes, they are going after. I said when they go after the bad ones, they come after you. You said they are going after the bad ones, right? When they finish going after the bad ones, they'll come after every one of us. Violence is violence and must never be encouraged in any way. Not because initially there were some. Now I see it, the same people that were abusing me when we were saying that, look, this thing, what is happening in the southeast was the way Shekau and was the other one, Mohammed Yusuf. So there are two people. It's just like Mohammed Yusuf and Shekau. Mohammed Yusuf was the head of Boko Haram, but he wasn't the violent Shekau is. So like what we also have with Nnamdi Kanu and this Simon Ekpa. Nnamdi Kanu, I don't think it doesn't look like the violence one. He just want to be called or got to be raven. He will not be put on that thing, put that what do they keep? Is it kippab? What do they kippab or whatever? That Jewish thing on his head. Put his wife this, and then people will not be kneeling down, kissing his feet, kissing his leg, and all of that. Now that one want do. But you see that one where I don't know as I would say describe, but what he resemble. Now that one they want to do the violence, they do all sorts of things. So the same way with Mohammed Yusuf and Shekau, and so what Shekau turned that whole region with. Initially, of course, that's why when I see some people saying that, oh, there were people who were supporting Boko. Yeah, they were, because they were fighting for the rights of the people then. From fighting for the rights of the people, they started killing the people. That's what violence does. And that's why when I see people who, when they're talking of protest, they want to do violence, I say, violence will never take you anywhere. It might give you adrenaline, but it derails your message. You no longer find favor with the people because you need the people's support. Whatever, if you say you are fighting for the people and you don't get their support, not supporting us, oh, they must support you, but the fact that they can easily, you're killing them. How then is that fighting for them? That doesn't make sense, does it? That then it's not fighting for them. And so this was how that whole thing started. And then you started with the stay at home. Children could not go to school. People could not open. I did a thread and I said, look, if you say, I think that first day at home was the day they were taking Kanu Nnamdi to the court. I said, if you want to feel that effect, come to Abuja and let there be stay at home in Abuja. I can tell you, if the Igbos in Abuja don't open shop, all of us go here where, because there are many things we want to buy that will not be there. That's even more. It doesn't make sense. You know, you do it once in a while. It makes sense. You do it all the time. It no longer makes sense because everybody is losing. But that, I said to them, would be more impactful than you to go to the southeast that is already being victimized from the federal level. That so many people are against it, and you yourself, you are not the one victimizing because you know they use your head. I mean, because what? Telling them every people will not come out. Children couldn't go to school. There was so much fear, killings. Somebody is carrying this thing. So many people were being lynched. People were being killed. People were being like, what? And then people saw what all of that violence was. At the end of the day, it's like, to what end? You think at the end, when I keep saying this thing, look, politics is very powerful. Why do you think these people stay on that political end? The best way to make ends meet is through that politics. Use that politics. That politics would have ensured get people. See what Alex Oti is doing to Abia. Even if you didn't understand what politics is, just look at Alex Oti. Go to our Abia state and see what is happening in Abia state. That's what politics is supposed to do. And that's why I say to people, politics and advocacy are the same. They are supposed to be for the greater good. You're supposed to use it to work for people. And getting the right people into office is the biggest advocacy you can do in Nigeria right now. Get those people into office. Let them be working for the people. Let the people see good governance, not the one that you feel that you want people to respect you, want people to be kissing your feet, you want people to be doing to what end is the use of all of that? To what end? At the end of the day, if you don't use strategy, you'll be strategized. Let me end it here and say everybody has a right to agitate for any freedom. If you don't want your region to be part of Nigeria, you have a right. And at this moment, I think in our constitution, we should have the right to have a referendum. Maybe they should say that every 25 years, Nigeria should have a referendum. They should, first of all, change that constitution, and then reject that constitution and put it in there that every 25 years, there should be a referendum in Nigeria of the regions. Let them, do they want to remain as part of Nigeria, or do they want to go a separate way? Every 25. So in 100 years, there should be 4 referendums taken for us to decide whether we want to be together or we want to be in our separate lane. I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. One Nigeria is not sacrosanct, but good governance, accountability, and transparency are sacrosanct. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.